Hey, it's Ayla, and this is Not That Kind of CEO. I am not that kind of CEO because today's episode talks about consistency over perfection. Because perfectionism is one of the things that female entrepreneurs get hung up on the most. If I look at myself, past me, yeah. I'm a recovering perfectionist. So now and then it will get in there. But in general, like past me got hung up on perfectionism a lot. And I know that a lot of my clients get hung up on it. And I think it's just, I'm about to go on a rant about the patriarchy immediately. So let's skip that. But I think that women are taught to be perfect. It's important to be perfect. And that's why we're getting hung up on perfectionism a lot. But I'm here sitting with my hat on, and I'm wearing the same shirt as I was in yesterday's episode, which, and it's a mess behind me. Hello, this is my office. It's a mess. And yet I'm still here recording because I wanted to record a podcast episode today, and I didn't want to get hung up on cleaning my desk before or even doing my hair. Today's episode is about why we are perfectionists. How can we gain momentum without perfectionism slowing us down? So stay tuned for that.
Hi, I'm Ayla, and I am not that kind of CEO. You won't find me in a fancy corner office, but rather in a quiet corner of my home. I followed a bold vision and built my life and business around it. That's how I ended up in France, where I'm raising 2 little girls, renovate our 500-year-old castle together with my husband, run a coaching business, and still have space to breathe. After a decade of helping women simplify their business to make room for what matters most, I created this show to help you do the same. Let's build your business around the life you love. Welcome to Not That Kind of CEO.
Welcome back to the show. In today's episode, as I said, perfectionism, consistency over perfectionism. And I'm actually recording this on the fly. I have a database of things that I want to record podcasts on later on. And I was thinking, I can't do it today because I'm wearing a hat. And I'm wearing the hat because I should have washed my hair this morning, but I went horseback riding first thing this morning. I'm not going to wash my hair and then go ride on a horse with a helmet on while it's a gazillion degrees out there. And also, I'll be literally, quite literally, tearing down the ceiling later on. Not here, but in the hallway upstairs, which in general is not great for hair conditions either. So I figured, yeah, I'm not going to wash my hair today. I'll slap on a hat and call it a day. And then I figured, oh, but I want to record an episode. But you know what? I should really do my hair. And I was like, why the fuck should I do my hair? I see guys on YouTube all the time wearing their hats. And if you're listening to this on audio, you're not noticing that I'm wearing a hat anyway. So it's stuff like that. It's the same with the shirt. Like I wore the same shirt as yesterday because I wanted something sleeveless to go horseback riding. And that was also ready to go into the laundry bin anyway. Yes, it's a mess. My office a mess. The room behind me, like war zone mess because the kids have made an exposition of their toys. Yesterday, my youngest, Milou, she was so cute and I was so sad for her. She wanted to entertain her sister, and so she brought like a whole, what are we calling this? Like a case filled with beads. So her older sister could go make bracelets, but the case wasn't closed properly. And she carried it with her and it fell open right at the crossing of the dining room and the hallway and the toilet. And of course, all the doors were open. Yeah, there are a lot of beads in a lot of rooms. And they're still there because I picked them up from the pathway that we walk on. And for the rest, I was like, yeah, I have better things to do. I can't be bothered. They need to pick it up like this weekend or something. I'm not gonna sit here on my knees and pick up beads for the better part of a morning. Nope, not gonna happen. And yeah, it's basically that's the way I run my household. I have other priorities, and very often tidying is not part of it. I need the essential parts to be clean, like kitchen, toilets, showers, floors in bedrooms and like kids' rooms. But the rest of the house, like, I mean, if you say it like that, you're like, isn't that the house? Like, no, it's a castle. There are more rooms. I can't be bothered to clean them all. No, as long as they're tidy, as long as I can sit on the couch comfortably, if the couch isn't covered in dog hairs and I don't sit on a toy, I'm good. I have better things to do. And yeah, so sorry, I'm getting on a rant about my household here. This is basically what I wanted to start with. Like, I'm a mess and I'm still sitting here recording a podcast because I want you to take action, is what it boils down to. Because perfectionism, in whatever way it's showing for you, is cutting down your productivity. If you stop because you want to have a perfectly clean and tidy house and you can't work when the house is not clean and tidy, then you're stopping yourself. Like, you're cutting your own momentum off. And of course, the house is a different thing because I know that there's also a lot of people who need like clean and tidy space to work in, but then focus on that space and let the rest of the house be the rest of the house. But for example, another thing that's more business relevant is social media. It's always about social media. If you're not posting on social media because you don't have the perfect content calendar set up for the coming 3 months, or you've not yet chosen all the perfect fonts and colors for your brand, or you haven't yet found the perfect angle to fill your pretty face, and you're letting that stop you, it's cutting down your productivity. You get stagnant. You literally get stagnant. You start to doubt everything because once you get in your head, you stay in your head. And I think that's a real pitfall here because if you're like that and you're thinking about it a lot but not taking action, it actually feels like you're doing a lot, but you don't have the results to show for it, which gives you extra frustration because you're like, I think about social media all the time, and yet I only have 200 followers. What's going on? Am I not working towards it enough? No, you're not working towards it enough. You're not taking action. You're just thinking about it. That's not actually working towards something. So that causes a lot of frustration as well. And I think that you easily get into a circle when you start going like that because you're not getting the results that you want to have, even though you're thinking about it a lot. You're still not getting the results, and that starts to just nibble at your confidence. And then when you start doubting yourself, you're not going to take action because you're like, ooh, I'm not sure if this is the right course of action anymore. To give you an example from my own life, I recently launched a new program and the launch did not go as I wanted it to go. And evidently, I started doubting everything. So I started doubting the copy, the platform, like everything launch related. But then I spiraled and I was like, is my hairdo still okay? Is my diet okay? Do I even want to be in France anymore? It's like everything. I started to doubt everything until I just sort of said, oh my God, stop it. Stop thinking, overthinking everything, and just get back to where it went wrong, which was I ran ads for the first time in my life. I did something wrong and I got a crowd into my email list that was not the right crowd. End of story. No need to start doubting the haircut. It's just adjust the ad strategy. There you go. Stop doubting the rest. So yeah, I think that's what happens easily if you really get stopped by your own perfectionism, then you get into your own head. I want to let you think about an athlete here. And I have a feeling that I very often have you think about athletes. And that's because I think that we, mompreneurs, are athletes. Like, we have a whole goddamn lot going on, and we're top athletes in juggling. That's what we are. And of course, it's not as grueling as being a top athlete. I mean, I've never been one, so I wouldn't know. But I imagine that it's not, because they make a lot of sacrifices physically and emotionally and in their social life. But doesn't that sound like someone you know? Aren't you also making sacrifices physically when you bear children? Like, hello. Emotionally, because it's fucking hard to raise kids and run a family and a household and have a business on the side. And it's also like your social life and everything. If you don't manage it properly, everything goes to shit. Excuse the French. I'm passionate about it. I need big words. So maybe that's why I'm always comparing ourselves to top athletes, because we also have a whole lot going on. But yeah, think about someone you admire in sports, whether it's like a Simone Biles or Michael Phelps or Michael Jordan. Are they all called Michael? I don't know. I don't know many athletes actually by name. Um, the point is, they show up every a goddamn day to train. They show up when it rains. They show up when they're on their periods, when they have had sleepless nights, when they ate something that didn't agree with them very well, because they know it's the progress that comes from taking action even when you're not on your best. Like, maybe because you're not on your best, you're willing to give more on those days, or you listen to your body. Like, for example, if you're on your period, then maybe you're not going as hard as you would when you are in your follicular phase. But if you're still showing up, there's still things like, maybe you're not setting a record, but it's very well possible that you're refining your position in a way that the next time you're going for the record, you'll actually have more chance of getting it, because the last time you were feeling shit, you refined your position and now you can use it when you actually go. And this is all still, of course, with sports in mind, but this also applies for you in business. Because if there's also another thing that we have in common with top athletes, is that, well, hopefully you have this in common with them, and if not, you should. They are hyper clear on their goals. They want, let's say they want a gold medal in swimming, and they know that in order to get the gold medal, they'll have to set the fastest time of everybody in the whole freaking world. And to set the fastest time, like, they know what the fastest time is right now. So they know that they have to beat it. It's very tangible what they have to do to get the gold medal. Like, this is it. And now, sort of like, all they have to do is just beat that time, beat the fastest time. And are they ashamed if they're in the pool and they want to set, like, the training for the fastest time? Are they ashamed if they don't make it today? No, because they know they're working towards it. They're getting better today, so that when the moment comes and they have to perform, they have a shot of actually getting that gold medal. And here you are, thinking about whether the light is right for your next reel, and if you have your hair and your makeup done, and if it's appropriate to show up wearing a hat or not. So this, I think, is very important. If you are hyper clear on your vision, like where you want to be in 10 years, in 5 years, in 2 years, in 1 year, you get goals from that. What do I have to achieve to make sure that I can get to that vision? If you have good goals, the keyword being good, you can make sub goals to work towards, and you can set tasks to get you to those sub goals. In other words, you're showing up every day in the pool to swim your laps, so that when the moment comes, you can actually have a shot at the gold medal, because that's what you're working towards. And it's much easier to take small action than it is to take big action. Imagine that right now you would jump into a pool and say, okay, I'm going to get that gold medal. And you start swimming for life. It's maybe easier if you're jumping into the pool saying, okay, I want to swim 10 laps at the fastest time that's possible for me today. And then you reflect on that, and then you just go, okay, so in order for me to get the gold medal, this is the time I need to beat. So I need to beat this much quicker when I swim my laps, and I'm going to do X, Y, Z to make that possible. Small action is much easier to take than big action. And I think that in order to take small action, it doesn't really matter if your house is a mess or if the light is not great and you have a pimple on your face. The point is that you're showing up. So let's stick to social media and reels, for example, because I know that that's where a lot of us get hung up. Perfectionism is very often a defense mechanism. It's not really about high standards. It's about the fear of judgment. It's about shame. So when you talk about filming reels, it's not the perfectionism about like taking the right shot or saying it flawlessly that's holding you back. It's actually the fear of putting it out there online where people can see it and then judge you for it. Right? That's what it boils down to. For yourself, it probably doesn't matter if you stumble on your words, but the fact that other people are going to see that you stumbled is something to think about. So, what do you have to do to get over that fear? Are two things. Practice. Practice a lot. If like you're posting reels not for the sake of posting reels, you're posting reels because you have a bigger goal. You want to get more followers so you can get more sales, for example. You're only going to get more followers if you're very clear on your messaging and on who you are, what you stand for, etc. And you're only going to get better when you post more. So taking small action is actually getting you there. And the second thing, sorry, I sort of lost my train of thought there. Yeah, working towards a goal. And the second thing is basically just stop giving a fuck about what people think of you. When you stop giving a fuck, your projects won't stall. They won't eat at your confidence. They won't stop your momentum. It means less decision fatigue on a day-to-day basis. Because if you got a goal that you're working towards, it's that simple. You know what's going to get you there and you just go. So if you want more followers, you have to show up more. And whether that's by engaging with others to point them towards your account or by throwing out 5 reels a day, that doesn't really matter. I'm not a social media expert, as you can see, but it's a means towards an end. You go. And if you just stop thinking about what others think of you when you do that, then you'll get better at it faster. And then when you finally have those followers, you'll be better and it will be easier to get sales from them and you get momentum. Like, isn't that a pretty thing? You get this snowball that's happening for you. And then finally, you're also saving time. Like, I hardly dare to say it because I actually recorded an episode yesterday and the conclusion was like every episode I record boils down to you should be saving time. But I think that's true because we're mompreneurs. We have a business and we have a family. We should save time on our business. And you're not saving time if you're overthinking your script or if you're re-recording something 10 times. It's just go, get it out there because you can re-record something 10 times right now, or you can just go, put it out there and get your reps in and become better while you're getting your reps in so you won't have to re-record so much in the long run. So yes, consistency over perfection. No more stalling a launch because you're not ready. You are posting all the time because you just don't give a damn if the picture is right. And this is something I wonder if there's perfectionism in many areas, but the reason social media comes to mind a lot is because it is a judgy place. There are internet trolls. The chances that someone is going to say something horrible about you are pretty big. But if we're taking this as an example, think about, I don't know, the last few reels you saw. Have you ever looked at what someone's wearing? Okay, maybe if this is a fashion account, but if this is a business account and they're saying something to you and there's a visual hook, like a text hook, they're saying something, they're moving, they're grabbing your attention. Have you ever looked at what someone wore? Have you ever looked behind them if it's a mess or where they even are in their house? I don't think you have a lot. I personally, I look at the text, like the visual hook text, and I look at their face because I wonder, like, who's this in my feed? Those are pretty much the things I look at, like face, text, and maybe account name, if I can place it directly, like what am I looking at? I hardly ever notice where someone is or what they're wearing. And here you are thinking about, is my background perfectly tidy and am I wearing the right color season to make this video pop? Yes, the last thing that's holding us back a lot when it comes to perfectionism, and it also ties in here, is wanting to learn more. You feel not confident enough because you're comparing yourself to others most often. And if someone you look up to is saying all these wonderful, insightful things, and you have the same audience and you're just going, oh my gosh, I'm not saying those same thoughtful things, I should probably do another course. I should probably get another certificate. I should probably read another book on the subject matter. I say that's perfectionism, and you're stopping yourself by wanting to learn more, because doing is learning as well. As we just said, get the reps in and repeat what you're doing. Get your eyes on the goal and what are the reps that you need to put in to finally get to that goal. Okay, I think that's it. I think this episode has become a bit of a rant instead of maybe giving you value, but I hope it gave you value nonetheless by maybe putting your mind into action mode instead of think mode, by dragging you out of your head and spurring you on to actually put consistency over perfectionism, because you deserve to have momentum in anything you do. And if this episode has somehow helped you gain momentum, then I'm very happy and I have made something out of it today. I don't know. Sorry, I'm losing my words here. Anyway, if you want to have even more momentum, I am placing a link in the show notes for my Power Hour planner, because putting in a good Power Hour is actually giving you that momentum by adding fuel to your fire of working towards your goals. So if you're someone that needs a content calendar before you can post on social media, okay, let's just acknowledge that fact that you're not someone to just hop on your camera and start recording something. You need something to see what you're going to talk about. That's fine. But then you're going to put it in a Power Hour and create that calendar and not stall on it too much. Just sit down for an hour, set your intention, eliminate all distractions, set a timer, and go. And by the end of it, you'll have a beautiful content calendar for like the coming week or month, or I don't know how fast you are. Doesn't matter. You've gained momentum. So grab that free PDF with the template for the Power Hour planner and get yourself some momentum in your business. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I will see you in the next episode.
Thank you so much for listening to Not That Kind of CEO. If this episode gave you clarity, encouragement, or just even a moment to breathe, I'd love it if you left a review. It helps more women like you find this show, and that means the world to me. And if you're ready to build a business that fits your life, you know where to find me. See you in the next episode.